Good day, magandang araw at would like to welcome you dito sa channel. Kung ikaw ay bago dito, please hit the magic button, hit also the notification bell for more interesting topics. Okay, so today we will be having a quick review on our basic accounting cycle, particularly focusing on the worksheet and financial statements. So, the purpose of this video is really to demonstrate how worksheet and financial statements are being prepared, no? And we will not prolong this, and since this is just a quick review, we will go on to the illustration. This is a typical worksheet, ano? Kaya we will be starting with balances na already. Kasi ang worksheet ay piniprepare once the ledger accounts are all with their respective balances. This comes after the journalizing and the posting stage of the accounting. So, in this sample, meron na tayong mga balances. We have all the debits and the credits, and we find here that balance siya, with respect to debit and credits. Dito sa worksheet, we can identify all the account titles, and especially, syempre, yung mga headings natin. We have the headings in this particular column. We have the unadjusted trial balance title. Then we follow the adjustments, adjusted trial balance, the balance sheet, or rather income statement, at finally ang balance sheet. Okay, so we can now go on with the next procedure, which is the adjustments. Pagka may balance ng ganito, we can now proceed to the adjustments. And these adjustments will be provided by the information. So, let us hurry it up and go on para matapos natin siya. Okay? So, ang additional information given, actually, in the adjustment procedure, there are a few items to consider. Ang mga subject for adjustments are the accruals, the deferrals, and the allocation of cost, also known as the depreciation, and some other correcting entries and adjustments of unusual accounts, if there are any of those. Okay? So, let's start first. Sabi dito, ang salaries daw ay still unrecorded, So it is now subject for accrual, unrecorded salaries. As mentioned here, meron 3 employees at tumatanggap ng 500 each. Tapos, based on the information, the payroll was every Saturday binibigay, at it happens that the December 31, which is the reporting period, is a Wednesday. So, we really have to accrue a 3-day salary. Okay? So, based on our computation, it turned out that the amount should be 4,500. That is 500 for each day, and we have 3 days, so 1,500. Then 1,500 multiplied by 3 employees is 4,500. So let us enter this into the worksheet. So the very first one is to recognize the salaries expense. So it is letter A, and we will recognize the entry 45, and also our credit will be since this is a an accrual, a liability will be created. So we will recognize the payable. Okay, but we are not yet through with this because there are a lot more adjustments to be considered. Okay, so we're finished with the first information given. Okay, so let's go on with the next one. Sabi sa information, merong unrecorded income on account. So it turned out to be 1,500. So let us record this or include this into the adjustments. Okay? So, ang ating debit dyan ay, since this is an accrual of income, we will have a receivable. So, meron tayong receivable dito. Okay, debit syempre. Okay? At ang amount ay 1,500 debit accounts receivable. And since this is an accrual of income, we will now credit the income account, which is consulting revenues. Okay? Yes. So, 1,500. Okay? So far, we have entered 2 transactions under these adjustments. Okay? So, let's move on. Letter C. The notes payable interest rate is 6% dated July 31. So, based sa ating computation, it turned out to be 5,250. Okay, I will explain how did it come to be 5,250, no? Since the amount of the notes payable is 210,000, so the principal is 210,000. So it is 210,000 times 6%, no? Whatever the product is, you will multiply it by 5 over 12. So, this one, I will indicate this here. Okay. That is 210 times 6% and times 5 over 12. So, that's how it is, just to have an idea how did we get the amount, this is for this one. Okay, so okay, yan, so 5,250. So we will now enter this into the worksheet. Okay, so ang ating kinuha ay interest payable, okay, and interest expense. So, under the adjustment, no, we will now record this. 5,250 interest expense, and credit is interest payable, interest payable. Okay? 5,250. Let us go on. Ang susunod natin, sabi dito may bills na natanggap. So this is an accrual of expense, accrual of expense. So let us have the amounts. Ang sabi dito ay ito ay the amount ng 1,002 and 1,000. So the total of those two is 2,200. So, ano ang entry natin dyan dito sa worksheet? So, ito ang ating magiging entry. It will fall under utilities expense, Yan ang magiging title niyan. Okay? Utilities payable. So, this is utilities payable. Ang naging total niya ay 2,200. Ang utilities expense natin ay 2,200. Okay, that is the combination of the electricity and telephone bill. Okay, all of this will fall under utilities expense. The next one, we will now go to the deferrals. Deferrals now, it will mean that all prepayments now made during the period will now be adjusted, through passage of time or through the process of earning or consuming. So it's either case, either case, deferrals. Because there are two deferrals of expense and deferrals of income. So, based on the information, sabi, ang insurance paid was for 2 years starting August 1. So, kung ating i-compute, there are August, September, October, November, December. There are 5 months, as just pass by. So, it will involve 5 months. So, based sa computation, ang lumabas ay 3,000. Because, ang ating insurance policy, prepaid insurance is 14,000. So, 14,000, we will multiply it by 2 years, 14,000 is divided by in months, it would be 24 months. So 24 months multiplied by 5, or rather 24 months. So on a monthly basis, we will get the amount of, let's compute it, ating calculator, 14,000 divided by 24 times 5. Base kasi sa ating insurance dito, ang sabi, 14,400 times, okay, so it is correct na ang magiging expired portion ng ating insurance ay Again, it is 14,400 divided by 24 times 5 months. No? The answer is 3,000. Okay? So, let's enter 3,000 and insurance expense is 3,000. Okay? So, next one, no? Supplies on hand daw ay 6,500. Yun ang sinabi sa information. So, we will have the entry, debit, supplies, expense. Okay, and we will credit the supplies. So that's how it is being done in the worksheet. Okay. Next, we have the allocation of cost. Service vehicle useful life is 10 years with service value of 1.5. We have now here the computation. I made it earlier. Okay. So, this is the computation for 20,000 ang vehicle. Let's see. For 20,000. And the salvage value is 1.5. Then, divided by 10. Okay. The balance here is 41,850. And the other one, we have the office equipment. So, let's check the office equipment. The office equipment is 60,000. So, 60,000 minus 200 as salvage value. 59,000 divided by 8. So, ang ating balance dyan ay magiging 7,475 for a total of 49,325. So, let's enter this into the worksheet. Okay? Depreciation. Okay, debit, Yan. Ito ay parehong letter F. Okay? And the accumulated depreciation for each fixed asset okay, and for the other one yan. And lastly, the rent for an space is for 1.5 years starting October 1. So, based sa ating computation, ang expired portion ay 1,333.33. If we will look at the account, now we have a prepaid rent here, 8,000. So, how can we compute that? So, we have 8,000, divided by 18 months, 8,000 again, this one, divided by 18 months, multiplied by 3. So, let's check natin sa calculator. The answer is 8,000 divided by 18, then times 3. So, the answer is 1,333.33. So, let's enter this into the worksheet. Okay? So, ang prepaid rent natin ay mababawasan ng 1,333.33 and we have now the rent expense. Okay, so let us check the total, no, of our entries. So we have 78,608.33 for the debit and the credit. So far, balance ang ating adjustment. So all we have to do now, since we have accounted for all of the information under the adjustments, now we will just extend our accounts to the adjusted trial balance. Okay, so here it is, so we just add the adjustments to the previously recorded balances, and we will deduct it should be deducted. The debit to debit is added, the credit to credit is added, but debit to credit is deducted and credit to debit is deducted. So that's the law, or the uh, law of debit and credit, as we call it. So let us check the balances now for the adjusted, okay. The adjusted balance is 649,575, the debit and the credit, after extending all the adjusted balance, after reflecting all the adjustments. Okay, so we will now go to the income statements. Okay, so let us just identify, so all we have to do is just to extend all the income statement accounts. Okay, let's do this. Extend natin ang mga income statement accounts. Okay, so if it is credit here, we will put it credit here. And if these accounts are all debit, we will just extend it to the debit side of the worksheet. So let's have the balances. Okay, we have 63,900 for the credit and 95,308 to the and 33 centavos to the debit. So it is very visible, it is very clear to us that the credit is less than the debit. So it seems to me that there is a difference of 31,408.33, which we can surely say that it is a net loss, because the credit, which represents the income account, is less than the total of the debit. So let us check our balances here so that we can be sure that our balances are correct. So it is balanced, no? The same here, just to bring it down, no? Bringing the accounts balances down and still balance in this column up to the column of the income statement. So yan, it is now clear to us that the net loss is 31,408.33. Okay, piece of information. If the balancing figure is to be placed, or it should be placed in the credit side, it is a net loss. And if it is supposedly to be placed on the debit side, on the left side, that's when we will consider it as net income. But by this time, it is a net loss since it is placed in the credit side. Okay, so right now we will be doing the balance sheet. Okay, we will do now the extension of the accounts. So that's what we were going to do. So we just extended all the balances, all the adjusted balances, the particularly the balance sheet accounts. Okay? And finally, we will just extend our totals here. Okay? So, again, if the income statements showing the net loss on the credit side, on the other way around for the balance sheet. On the balance sheet section, it should be placed on the debit side because it will denote a net loss. So with this, we are now sure that we have a balanced figures here, okay? Considering we have a net loss of 31,408.33. Okay, so this is how this worksheet is being prepared, and accomplished. So by this time, it is now about time for us to make the report. The financial statement reports will be prepared basing on the information provided by the worksheet. Okay, so let's move to the report preparation. Okay, we will now make it much faster for all of us to understand. So this is how it will look like. So by picking up all the adjusted balances from the worksheet, 63.9, and balances of each expenses, so we can be sure that we are getting the correct information by referring to the balances. The total debit balance here is 95,308.33 and the total credit is 63,900. So let us see. So 95,308.33 for the debits and the credit is 63,900 for a balance of 31,408.33, which will show the net loss for the period. This is our net loss under the income statement. Okay, now we will now proceed to the balance sheet. Okay, we will now make it fast. We will now just provide all the adjusted balances. Okay, like what I've said, whatever is the balance here, we will just reflect it to the formal report of the balance sheet. But we have to make some explanation. The important here is that we are able to show you how will it look like, the balance sheet, how it will look like as we prepare it. So the debit balance is 499,467, 499,467, but we will have to explain the owner's equity because this is the important section of the balance sheet to show the equity of the business. Even though each section is very important, but somehow we will focus on the owner's equity for us to know how the operation went during the period. The beginning is 250,000. Net loss, as reflected in the income statement, is 31,408.33. So we deduct it, and we also deduct the withdrawals of the owner as it is being reflected in the worksheet. Sabi dito may withdrawals na 14,000. Okay? So, the balance of the equity is 204,591.67 as we added to the total liabilities of 286,350 and the total is 490,941.67, which is balance 3, our total assets. Okay, this is our total assets. Okay, so that's how the balance sheet will look like. Now, we will go on to the final portion. No? We will just show you how the transactions are to be recorded, no, in the journal entries. Okay, so here it is. These are the entries, these are the entries in our adjustments, no, based on the information given in the worksheet. Okay, so these are the information and this is the corresponding journal entries. Okay, the salaries, the accrued income, the accrued interest, the accrued utilities, the expired portion of the insurance, expired portion of the supplies, and the systematic allocation, which is the balance sheet. So right now we have illustrated to you in a very quick demonstration the preparation of the worksheet and the financial statement. Again, we will show you the financial statements, the income statement, and the balance sheet. Okay, so with that, we would like to thank you for listening, and this is just another version of the accounting in 30 minutes, and see you again for another enlightening topics, and would like to wish you a good health and keep safe, everybody. Thank you.